Alright, we are on Rift. 3K 4v4. We're gonna be casting from in here the whole game, trying to make things interesting. Gonna have to just use these little portholes here to tell what's going on. So we got 5 points in the middle of the map. They're roughly equidistant apart. Soon we have at least 2 ships in the game. We have a lot of returners. Call, Chardonnay Mims, Zombarino, Grenade, Carball Space Police, Shiva the Deceased. That might be it. I don't think I've seen the other, yeah, entire 2 players before. But maybe we have, maybe we haven't. Let's get out of here and stop messing around. This is a Rift. It's got some weird cover floating around. A lot of it. And yeah, here it is. I don't have anything too groundbreaking to say on this map that I haven't said before, and I kind of hate doing the same speech over and over and over and over again. So if you don't know what this map is all about, sorry. I'm not a nice enough guy to help you through that. Oh, dear. Brutal. I have new audio system. I've used it in the last video, and I think just that one and this video, so maybe it'll sound better. Well, system isn't correct. I'm just using some different filters on my microphone to make it sound a little better, and so that my audio isn't super quiet in comparison to any other audio that might be in the game. Starting to make a little bit of a name for myself as a recording guy, which is kind of weird. As someone who's never like made videos before. Oh my, dropping down with the OSP team. Got mass drivers. I do like quad mass drivers. Hope you brought an EWR. I'm gonna be very disappointed. Carball Space Police. 4 mass drivers. Some point defense. Pretty well rounded points defense. Obviously lots of electricity internals. Some container stag launchers. Interesting. Presumably decoys? Yeah, nice. And then one Bloodhound ship. No EWR, which is unfortunate. How many track correlators can you shove in this thing? 2. Okay, that's fine. And intel as well. Analysis Sensex. Annex. I don't think he's got any actual dedicated. Ooh, no. Alright, well, we're gonna have to message this guy after the game. Analysis Annex doesn't do anything if you don't also have a intel center inside the same ship. 11 Castle bringing spam of one sort or another. We got guns, we got a lot of E-War, a lot of jammers, lockup radars, C-53s, T-30s, and C-60s. Oh my. So this team's loaded for bar. Ready to fight! Ready to kill! No plasma, no support, and really not enough point defense to be safe against much. I'm not seeing, I don't think there are any missiles coming out of this team though, so maybe you'll be able to get away with it. Let's go down to Mungo Parker, Gunocello, Mine Tug, EWR Tug, and some scouts with rockets, mostly. One with a gun on it for some reason. I don't know what that's about. Shiva, bring him a container! Oh my god. I was about to get real excited. But these are all decoy. Wait a minute. You can't make command cruiser decoys. I think this is a false name to be a silly Billy. Yeah, I think that's exactly what this is. So bringing some actual containers. No point defense, which is risky as hell. And something I do not endorse. This setup is cool with the, like, middle bridge and the rear launchers and the mid launchers and then the big front engine thing. I like this. This is a cool, you got a cool layout for this. Okay. Chardonnay Mims already firing at the monitors, hanging them up. Giving some jamming. Oh my god, more jamming than you can shake a stick at. Aurora Bull. Okay, so we got a point defense. A lot of point defense. And then some dedicated guns. What is this build? What is this build? So each ship has one very specific role. Guns, point defense, or E-War. I don't know how well that's going to work out over the long run. Those Auroras are going to struggle against containers. In fact, if containers go into this team, I think it's dead. RPF might be able to help, but just Auroras are not enough. One of the ships going to be locked and fired at. Oh, he's getting out of there. He dropped some fire down the field and is leaving now. Got a grenade. Beams. 2 beams and a gun? And then, missiles on the backpack. Now this is a build. That's pretty well-rounded. Some Mark IIs. This thing's a force unto itself. Bane of feeders. Yeah, I bet that. With the beams and the missiles, that'll slay cargo feeders like nobody's business. Trident ship already taking a ton of damage. Probably wants to retreat while firing, but this turn and burn might be a little too defensive. Presenting his engines to his opponent. Well, he's going to be getting out of there faster. He's going to be taking a lot of damage for it. Call. I'm bringing his mass driver fleet. 3 railguns. Oh, yeah. They did rename these to railguns. Excellent. Excellent. I knew that was talked about. Yeah, and that was in the update post. Thank you, heroes. So, rail guns are now called railguns, which is nice. Bringing a couple gunships, bringing a couple scouts. Really well-rounded fleet, able to provide support, and also get some damage down the field. It's kind of the ultimate support fleet. I like it. Chardonnay Mims losing one of his reins already. Shichiroji. I like these names. These really cool sounding Japanese names. Zambarino coming in with his well-rounded Axford. And then the beam team. And a scout. Could be very strong. I think he plays his stuff in too tight of a formation. I think he'd get better effect flying them around in different areas. Since all these ships are at different speeds. And can be positionally very different. Oh yeah, these are actual real missiles. These are not decoys. You got me pretty good, Shiva. I gotta say, I looked at that and I was like, what? Why would you do this? And then took just a moment to process. I don't think Call's gonna be able to deal with this, Chief. 3 defenders, 3 rebounds. I don't know, these are eating a ton of RPF fire on their way in. We're gonna find out. Rift is kind of a bright map, isn't it? It's a little too bright. I wish I could see what is inside these missiles. Well, they're decoys. Oh my, lots of decoys. Okay, so I got a pretty good idea what's inside these missiles. Lots of decoys and probably act rad, because otherwise that's gonna be too expensive. Yeah, this just completely not enough point defense to deal with containers. Middle ship gonna be downed. That's it. All those containers going into the middle ship. We got some mines on the back point of D here. Nice. This will capture anything coming through here. That is good mine placement. I respect that. Normally I'm dunking on people who put down mines because their positioning is crappy, but okay, we're going to turn that off. But that is some good positioning. Call repositioning it. Oh, no. Yeah, sort of repositioning his fleet. Where are these going? Aha. These are trying to catch Chardonnay Mims. Reigns unawares. As previously stated, these just don't have the point defense to deal with containers. They've got the... Oh! But he's not... Yeah, it's a little too tight on the maneuvering here. I don't think these are going to be able to make it onto anything. Firing off a lot of decoys, though, to just generally be a menace. Yeah, too much. If these ships break and turn around, they actually won't get hit by any of this. That was a really clever play, but he just jumped the gun a little too early. Oh, a couple hits going in here. Okay, we're gonna turn that off so we can see this. 2 hits going into this one. So many decoy flares getting ejected out. This is still taking fire. It's dead, of course. Yeah, I don't think anything else is gonna land. Because those 2 hitting this, I think were aiming at this ship and then just turned into this one. Yeah. So that was really clever. But unfortunately, fired him just a little too early. So they were stuck. They didn't have enough maneuverability to do that. That quick crank. It's going to delete that tug. Yeah, Chardonnay Men's probably needing some new pants right about now. With the incredible luck of not getting completely annihilated. How much did that cost him? A lot. That could have taken out that entire fleet. It didn't, of course, because of the timing. Just a little unfortunate. I haven't seen these mass drivers do anything. Is it just me, or are they in like a gun battle with Call's team? No, they're not doing anything. Okay. I don't know what Kerbal's face is getting up to. I think he's just too busy managing his tug. Oh, no. That's his tug. I was thinking that was his tug. I have no idea what this guy's doing. Yeah, kind of unfortunate. I'm not even sure what sees these. Presumably these ships are seeing them with their fancy pants ANS radar. Almost no points have been taken. We're 10 minutes into the game. Charlie and Delta have been taken at roughly the same time. OSB and ANS forces are even on caps and on point accruement. But there's this whole, like 2/3 of the map over here are not being used. All the fighting has been down here and a little bit up here. And then the backliners are, of course, blasting at each other. Well, one group of backliners is blasting at the other group of backliners, but for some reason, Kerbal's space program isn't really doing anything with his mass drivers. He's not, like, trying to reorient them to get a good angle. He's not counterfiring. I don't know what's going on there. And there have been no scouts heading out of either team to this side of the map to cap points. I think. I don't know. So this has been a weird little game. Solomon not taking the bait, not pushing up and getting hit by mines. In fact, Call Ship's able to see these mines, so they're gonna get cleaned up. Even though see, this is the issue I have with mines, man. Even though the positioning on these was really good, they're still getting cleaned up without really doing anything. And that just seems to always be the story. Can mines be used well? Yes, but it like never happens, I swear. And I understand, I respect it. I like putting mines in basically every other game. But it just, they're too counterable in this one. So this is another container blast going after the Frig Blob. This could annihilate some ships. But I think he's gotten a little too ambitious with his angling yet again. Oh, going over, yeah, Zombareno's team has plenty of point defense to deal with this. Or not. Oh. And just a little too ambitious with the angling on these containers. Doing some really clever play, but unfortunately not able to capitalize effectively on the lack of point defense on the ANS team. Just doesn't have... Yeah, it's just the angling. All the angling on these missile maneuvers are a little too tight for containers to handle. Which is understandable. They're giant shipping crates. How maneuverable could they possibly be? Sambarino, the only person on this game playing even relatively normally. I hope he grabs Echo. That would be a great play. I think these are being track fired. What? Oh. Well, they're definitely not track fired since this guy's behind the wall. I think this is a little ambitious, though. Ooh. Being the sprinter. Game's starting to slow down with all the missiles and the decoys and the point defense. But yeah, the sightline's a little too long, and Zombarino brings well-rounded point defense. So these aren't really going to be getting through. Oh yeah, just one from several volleys. Our container player feeling the pain. Zombarino actually pushing the container player, which I think is completely unnecessary. He's out of munitions and basically going to be out of the game then, since he doesn't have any point defense, so he can't even be a screen for his fellows. The sprinter going to get finished off by gunfire out of his tugs and the Cello team. Pretty silly. Oh no. Oh yes, that's right. I forgot. We're supposed to cast from in here. Okay. So here's the game. I can do that. I don't want to scare everyone away with my antics. The mass driver team still just not really doing much. Finally firing at the Solomon. But I think this is the first volley of the match, and it's going into the nose of the Solomon. And even though mass drivers do have pretty good pin, bow tanking is highly effective. Oh no. Oh no. Gonna be firing these 3 at a time at an extremely fast rate. How is he firing them so fast? Firing at the support ships? Do you have any sort of programming speed buffs? No. They're just able to fire really fast out of the VLS2, I guess. Interesting. I usually use Type 3s when I'm on ANS. And those take a long time to program. Yeah, good. I mean, if you can... Yeah, Bloodhound's down. He's got 1 restore. But his reactor's also down. So I think these mass drivers are in big trouble. They're not going to have much accuracy. Yeah. They do have a Bulwark Huntress. But I think beams do slightly more damage at close range than mass drivers do. Trying to chaff. I don't think anything's going to bite, though. These don't have the speed to make use of chaff very effectively. Especially not at this range. Plonk. And the well-rounded PD doing a good job of taking down most of the missiles, but they're not getting all of them. And this thing is going to steadily take more and more damage. Maybe not. Yeah, I guess just the 1 leaker? Yep. And that's presumably out of missiles at this point. No, we got plenty left. Got half a complement left. This Yoshiva's container, unfortunately, just bombed this team. That's about it. Dropped 1 on the Sprinter and 2 on the Katayama back here. Just having some issues with maneuverability, which is understandable. It's hard to get the hang of containers, especially if you're used to other missiles, because all the normal missiles are so maneuverable by comparison. Even the torpedoes are extremely maneuverable by comparison to containers. Morgantown victory and the USSR victory. You can't use victory twice in your ship names. What are you doing? Don't do that. That's silly. I mean, this is the Kerbal Space Police, so silly might be the name of the game. ANS finally getting on to capping another point. Taking Bravo. Is this Kerbal Space Police? Yeah. What have these guys been doing down here? They've just been sort of sitting. Yeah, these guys haven't really been participating. They've just been kind of chilling and, like, dipping fire down the field. Don't do that. Oh my. Some more torpedo support from Zombarino's team. Gonna finish this off for good. Bane of Feeders pushing forward, able to be victorious against the victory ships. This thing very damaged from all the rail fire that has gone into it. Not enough damage control teams to manage all these fires. Several compartments have burned down. And, yeah, with the reduction in that point defense network, these ships aren't going to be able to stand up to these backpack missiles anymore. Or maybe they will. Oh. There goes victory number 1. A victorious flare! Yay! Feeling Mims is gonna head over to Echo or Alpha now. Where the hell is Echo on this map? There it is. Yeah, Echo would probably be the better choice. If he goes up to Alpha, he can gun down the very empty container ship, which has also been named Decoy Container Line Ship. Shiva playing the mind games here. Didn't work for him that well, unfortunately, but I respect it. I respect the attempt. And see, this is what you do with your Yub Nub. After you fired all your missiles and you don't have anything left to participate, you go and you cap points and you just generally be a distraction. You don't... Yeah, this is perfect. You don't go, oh my god, PD is bullshit, and then Alt F4. You do this exact thing. We're somehow almost 20 minutes into the game, and less than 1/4 of the points, less than 1/5 of the maximum points have been grabbed. He's doing pretty good, actually. I mean, he's taking a lot of damage from the mass drivers and from burning on flank. Oh my god, most of his damage, I think, is from burning on flank. Look at that. And is also taking some fire from these ships, I believe. But has done a real good job. Clunk. Of disrupting these mass driver team, which could have been a real menace. But they just didn't do much this map, unfortunately. Match, I should say, not map. Some issues with the angling. Rift's a tricky map to get mass drivers to work on. You can't do the go up to the top of the map and then fire down. Okay, so Call's team got killed at some point. I missed this. I'm not sure when the rest of his team got blown up or by what. It might have been by missiles. Let's take a look. I think it was just by mass drivers? No. Had to have been missiles. Well, there's some big blast marks, but there are only a few of them, so it's probably missiles, yeah. Presumably another wave of containers went up there and got them, or it could have been some missiles out of one of these other teams. But yeah, anyways, what you really need to do with Rift is be down in the middle, kind of with the team, and be angling around rocks, dipping in and out. Like you're a friggin' Counter-Strike sniper. And getting good sidelines and blasting off like that. You'll be a lot closer range than you usually want to be. And so it's very hard to do and not die while doing. But that's what you got to do on Rift because of how much cover there is. It's hard to get like a... There isn't really an open area except in both teams' spawns. So you can't just like point and fire at mid like you can on something like Pillars. Actually, I think RPF would be very effective against the container ship because it has basically no armor. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it's got just enough to counter RPF. Because RPF has almost no pin, so... SP team taking Delta. This is another just really odd game, which is great. As much as I enjoy like serious, competitive, nebulous, the silly games are a lot of fun. I don't understand what this team has been doing. They've just been sort of chilling on this side of the map, dumping out missiles from time to time, and shooting at people from time to time. But they've been playing very passively. I really don't like that. I think this is just going to be stranded up here. Yeah. With all the engine problems he's had, as dangerous as that beam ship was, now that it's up here, it's kind of stuck. Because of the overdrive, or the flank speed, and all the damage he took from the mass drivers, as well as the damage he took from some of the guns back here. This thing is just stuck up here now. Is pretty much out of the fight. And since it's got beams instead of 450s, it can't provide long-range fire support. As long as nothing goes near it, it'll be fine. And the last remaining player with any combat potential doesn't seem to want to go anywhere near it. Mungo Parker and 11 Castle, well, they've been playing together pretty closely, but they're staying away from that. Staying far, far away from that. Yeah, as long as you're outside the line, you will get the drive thing happening, even if your engine's dead, I think. Since that's just like an effect, it doesn't actually use your ship for that. I'm sure that'll change whenever Conquest comes out. Also that, yes. Yeah, Chardonnay Mims, I don't know about this fleet chief. He's talking it up in the lobby. But yeah, the one ship, one role setup is a really good idea on paper. The problem is it's very brittle. It's strong but brittle. Right, so it's highly effective because you have extreme specialization, but once you start to lose ships, then you lose whole roles. And that's not good. It's not good. Because look at this team now. They've got 2 Auroras and a gunship. And those Auroras aren't going to be doing anything. Because there's not really much in the way of missiles left on the field at this point in the match. Oh, okay. So you can't. Interesting. That's... Huh. I mean, it makes sense. Obviously, I just figured that would be the sort of thing that would be an oversight, right? Because withdrawing isn't exactly a very important part of the game. It's just a way to keep people inside the boundaries of the game field. That's pretty neat. Good bit of detail there that didn't need to be done. Today I learned. Very cool. This team is so pathetic. This little group of monitors here, they're so pathetic. But I think they're going to be able to win the game. Because there's nothing to challenge them. There's the Frigg Blob, that's basically dead. There's Zombarino's fleet, which has lost the Axford at some point. I don't know what happened to this. I have no idea. I guess he just got gunned to pieces by the previously claimed pathetic team. They just fired round after round after round after round into him. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. These two were fighting over here while I was keeping an eye on the area up top. And Zambarino lost that. The beam DDs have gotten into range, which is very good for him. Because those can do a lot of damage. Yeah, and I think all Zombie needs to do to improve his play is not have his ships in such close formation. Fly them around, use their different speeds and their strengths, have the beam ships in closer, have the Axford as fire support, and use the scout as a scout. Don't dunk on Shiva. Yeah, maybe dunk on Shiva a little bit. He certainly couldn't have capped A. But especially since there's this parked on it. But yeah, it was kind of silly of him to go out and fly this out and try to retreat it, but we'll allow it for the honorable first A cap. See, aha! Aha! I was right! He's gonna need new pants. Look at that. And, okay, good. So Shiva knows what happened there as well. Blast Light, excuse on the Discord for doing that.
The enemy is securing zone dagger.
Doing what? Oh, just like withdrawing? Yeah. Well, it's different when your ship is like destroyed, right? I don't know. He definitely could have participated more, but he participated enough. Maybe I'm not being fair to some folks, but I'm a little more willing to forgive people who at least try to participate. Oh, the beam ship! I said it was out of the fight. He's coming in still on flank speed, presumably, to squeeze that much speed out of his dead engines. Oh, man, that changes everything, because this thing doesn't have much health, but those beams can do mondo damage. I also think it's got one restore remaining, so he could really get some damage onto these monitors. Beams are absolutely what you want against monitors. They're so good, cutting through the angled armor. And these well-armored feeders. Yeah, Japanese team from MEMS trying to fight as well, but he's only got one gunship. Using his Aurora teams to be a little more forward and to hopefully get shot at. I'm guessing that's the plan there, which is exactly what you want to be doing with those. Now that all of the ordnance has been expended. Call retaking this. It's still anyone's game. ANS at this point in time has more map control than the OSP, but they are concentrated. And the OSP could, if the ANS stays spread out, methodically work its way through all these ships. The problem is, can they do it before a point defeat? I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, this is the slow part of the match where I check my OBS to make sure everything's working right and realize I've been muted this entire time. And have to burn the recording. And I've wasted, 40 minutes of my life plus the lobby time. Oh. Fortunately, that is not happening. Things are working just fine. Shiva has given up. Oh, right. I cannot believe Grenade has pulled this stupid battleship back into the match. He was disconnected. I'm really not sure who's going to win this one. I think it should go to the ANS. But look at this. This Oscilla's basically fine. Don't retreat. Get in there and shoot things. No. You back up from this and shoot at it. And stay out of range. Don't hide. If you hide, you're just going to let it get into range. And you're not going to be helping your team. And you might try to, like, cap. I don't know what the plan is with this. But he's going to get caught out by this beam ship. So, there's no E-War going down the field from anyone right now. So it's kind of hard to tell who can see what. Oh. That's what I'm talking about. Just been retreating and firing. Could have even headed over to Echo and been firing and maybe gotten a cap and turned it for your team. But doing this like duck and poke with 450 turrets is not what you want to be doing. That works great on casemates, but not on turrets. They reload too fast. For that to be worth, if anything, you're giving the beam player the advantage by giving his slow reloads time to reload. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to declare this in favor of the ANS, actually, with this ship doing an immense amount of work, getting in here and just wrecking everything with beams. Where are you going? Ah, call going to cap Charlie, and once that cap completes, which it will, there's really nothing in the way. Contest it. That'll be the game. Calls his other gunship coming up here to kill the space plane. You up going out on that Solomon, that's not going to help you much. Oh, being zoomed in like this is weird. Yeah, just trying to get... Oh my god. Where is everyone? There we go. Trying to get like a good picture of the battlefield, but that was just a mess. So apologies to everyone else who had to sit through that. Yeah, they've got the map presence and they'll have a point advantage. Congratulations. Congratulations. Well, we'll wait on this until call has capped Charlie.
The enemy is securing zone common.
This thing just laying down the pain at close range. There's no worrying about track pitch or deviance at this range. Goodness. Does this have a little cannon on it? Oh, right, on the fourth slot.
The enemy secured zone common.
Okay, welcome to the AAR. If you have been suddenly transported here from the middle of a match, my apologies. I'm sure that's very jarring, but the tail end of that game had nothing going on. Of course, if you haven't been teleported here, then you know that the tail end of that game had nothing going on, and I forgot to do my editing. So here's the AAR. We got Chardonnay Mims and his Mimi fleet. Just really didn't do that much. Because we got Rectorino right at the start. A lot of gunfire. Oh my god. A grenade in his beam machine. Wrecking! With his beam turrets. His HE didn't do anywhere near as much as it could have. I wonder what that's about. That's kind of weird. But the beam turrets. Oh my, the beam turrets. Pew pew, bitch. Pew pew. So much damage coming out of those. Cole did some good work with his gunships and scouts. His keystones got wrecked pretty early on. Still not entirely sure what killed him. Oh, right. I'm pretty sure it was containers. Yes, he was an absolute menace. Absolute menace. Yeah, Sombrero just not quite able to put out what he probably could. It's unfortunate. 11 Castle did a lot of damage. Could have done way more if he's more aggressive with his ships. That's some more map control. I mean, obviously wrecked Zombarino's fleet and did some good damage on the battleship. I think also did some pretty good damage against Mims. But I would have liked to see more bold play out of this team. Just in general, out of the OSP team. I think the only bold player on the team was Shiva, and he was in a freaking cargo container liner. 26K. Not bad. Not great. EO. Man, EO and decoys? Goodness. Where you find the money for that, Chief? On the point defense. That's where we found the money for that. Very risky. Paid off, mostly. Could have really paid off. He's just a little bit better on the maneuvering. But I like this. This worked out really well. I'm gonna have to... I'm gonna have to consider making a gamble build like that. With the EO and the decoys. And then just sacrificing the point defense and praying to God for most of the match. You don't get a hybrid or two fired your way and get just swoop taken out. The Kerbal team doing pretty well. A lot of Kerbal people because we got Mongol Parker who brought a bunch of KSP inspired names, and then we also have Kerbal Space Police on the match driver team that just didn't really do anything. Yeah, 31 shots, 13 hits. Yeah, that's kind of a huge problem. 78 and 54. Oof. I don't know what was going on, but he definitely could have gotten more out of these ships. Anyways, that's the video. Oh, right, I have a Discord, link is down in the description for setting up viewer games and also for pinging people when I'm going live, since it would be rather rude to do that on the actual Nebulous Discord, considering there are several thousand people there, and they definitely didn't sign up to get pinged by me. But of course, if you sign up to that Discord, that's exactly what you're signing up for. So there's me plugging that link in the description. It's nothing too elaborate, literally just a place for me to let people know that I'm doing this and to organize viewer-centric games, which you might have seen in previous videos with the chatter going on. It depends on how many people are online and when I'm actually recording as to whether or not that comes together. And that's the video. Hope you enjoyed. Good night.